Alright, today we're going to do the synthetic fox shrimp. We're going to start out here with a Daiichi 2546 size 2. A little bit of chartreuse thread just to kind of change up things with thread a little bit. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and get started. Just get some wraps right behind the eye. Do about 8 wraps back. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. And like with most of my other flies, this is just so that we know the eyes are going in the same spot every time. I'm going to tie this shrimp pretty light, so we're going to go with some medium bead chain eyes. Try to make this for some shallow water redfish, or my intention, I think, is going to be throwing these at some spawning bass here come January, February here in Florida. Try to make it look like a little crawfish to them or something, I think. So we'll just get these eyes on here, some figure 8 wraps, some helicopter wraps. Make sure those are nice and secure. Bring it all the way back to the bend of the hook now. And with like a lot of the other patterns that I do for redfish, we're just going to add a little egg sac out of medium Palmer chenille. So we'll just grab a little bit of medium Palmer chenille. All we're going to do is just tie it right here down the bend of the hook. Get it tied in nice and tight. Work our thread forward, out of the way. And then we're just going to Palmer this medium cactus chenille, I should say, not Palmer chenille. We'll Palmer the medium cactus chenille. Up, bend of the hook. One wrap right behind the other, just kind of stroking these fibers back. Kind of miss a little spot, you can go back there. And let's get it right up until we get to the bend of the hook. That looks pretty good. And we'll just go ahead and tie this off. Try to get that out of our way. Clipper X this out. Now we'll just take our thread, we'll kind of wrap right back on it. Kind of make it look a little neater. So next thing we're going to do is add eyes. I made some eyes out of some blue resin, put some little dots on them. Just some weird looking eyes. You know, change things up from the normal black eyes that I do. So all we're going to do is one on each side of the chenille here, just poking out a little bit further than the chenille. Go ahead and just kind of tie one eye in here. And get the other side eye on the other side. Kind of like playing with these UV colored resins with the eyes. I'm thinking about doing a lot of the different colors. You know, try to get away more from just the black. Give some of these patterns a little bit more flavor. So get these eyes tied in nice and tight. Then what we're going to do is kind of lift one eye and just tie right on the inside of it and give it about 5 or 6 wraps. Do the same thing here with this other eye. That way we get a nice little spread on our eyes. Oh, keep the hook inverted here. Now we're going to grab our natural red foxtail. You can find these red foxtails online in a bunch of different places. Probably try to carry these big, full, I think this is like an 18-inch foxtail. Probably try to carry these on the site, maybe a little bit smaller size, maybe like a 12-inch foxtail, depending on how much bulk I can get them in and still get quality. But we'll get ourselves a nice little pinch fox here, like so. Then we'll get our brush and we're just going to brush out these fibers here on the end. Get any of that that under fur out of there. That's just going to add unnecessary bulk for us. Just get your brush, brush it out. Just make sure you get as much out as you can. The more you get out, the less bulk you have to worry about. If your brush doesn't look something like that after brushing fox out, you didn't brush it right. So get all that under fur out of there. And we're just going to take it, and right where this gray kind of starts to meet the tan fibers is right about where we want to tie in. Just get a little bit of that gray coming out the back. And all we're going to do is just tie it right here on the back. Get a couple wraps going forward. Make sure that's nice and tight in there. You don't need a ton of fox. It kind of tends to keep a little bit of that volume. So you don't have to worry about it too much getting too thin on you. Alright. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to get some medium Palmer chenille this time. This is in brown. So a little bit of contrasting color. We're just going to cut ourselves out a nice little section of this. I'm going to find one end here. All we're just going to do is just tie it right on top of our fox. This stuff can get a little bit unruly on you. Don't let that bother you. The more unruly it is usually, the better it ends up looking at the end. So kind of take it, we'll put our hackle pliers on it, and now we're just going to go ahead and palmer it. Just get one wrap right after another. Here, kind of get them a little spread out. Don't worry about it. You're going to put enough wraps on here to cover up any of the thread. Just kind of stroke these fibers back each time you wrap. A lot of ways this is just like the redfish crack or the redfish critter so far. If you guys have tied those two flies of mine. So we get about halfway down the hook shank, we can go ahead and stop and kind of just tie off our Palmer chenille here. Go ahead, cut our excess out. Like I said, it looks a little unruly, but at the end it'll end up looking pretty good. So just go ahead, work our thread forward and back, just kind of cover up some of that. Tie back on our Palmer chenille a little bit. There we go. And what do we do? Oh, here we go. So we just got these on the site. These are wiggle legs from Hedron. This is the pumpkin orange tip color. So they got a bunch of great colors. They seem to be pretty good legs. So if you guys need legs, you can head over to the site, and definitely got legs up there now. We've also got flexo kits and hooks and eyes, and starting to get more and more materials on there for you guys. So we're going to pull one leg off here. We'll do one leg on one side, then one leg on the other side. So you just kind of fold the leg over and then just tie right back on the legs themselves. So you'll end up with two legs on each side. You got one leg, go back to the front. Pull another leg off here. And do the same thing. Wrap right back on it. I like to just kind of hook them right around the eyes, keeps them out of my way. Alright. Now the last part of this is going to be this wire-free synthetic fox brush. Little disclaimer, when I bought it, I thought it was actually going to be fox. I was told, hey man, they got a wire-free fox brush. And it's not actual fox. It is synthetic fox, which is more like a craft fur type material. But it's kind of the same length as a fox brush and has really nice movement in the water. Adds a nice little bulk here to the body while providing that movement. Kind of gives it a nice little pulsing action. I'm sure you guys could make a ton of good redfish and redfish, permit, bonefish bugs out of this. So, gonna tie that in, get our thread up to the front here. Gonna get all these so they're not just laying back on me. We'll get that in our hackle pliers, and we'll do the same thing that we did with the Palmer chenille. This one, we want to keep our wraps as tight as we can. So the tighter you keep your wraps with this stuff, the better it's going to come out looking at the end. So just kind of keep stroking those fibers back. You'll start to see how these fibers kind of stick out. We'll pick some of them out here in just a second as well. Get one more wrap in there, I think, one or two. Probably just one. Now we can get one more in there. We'll just kind of bring our thread back over. Tie off here. That's enough. All right. So, the brush here is it's like a cord. It's pretty thick, so I mean you gotta worry about a little bit of bulk when just finishing this off here at the head of the fly. But if you kind of do some figure 8 wraps here, and a couple wraps over it, kind of all just blends right into the head. So we'll just take our bodkin, kind of pick out some of these fibers. You start to see how long some of those fibers are there. Gives a really nice little pulsing action as you strip it in the water. I'll push them back. If you can ever find your tools on your desk, like I can't. Ooh, there we go. Get a little brush. This little loon dubbing brush is great for picking out fibers. Unfortunately, my desk is a mess, so finding stuff is not always easy. So now we're just going to go ahead, we're going to build up a little bit of head on this fly. I'm not going to add a weed guard to this one just because I'm not going to be fishing in any weeded area, but if you were fishing somewhere with weed, you could definitely add one. So let's clean up the tips a little bit too. Geez, I cannot find anything on my desk today. I know I have a lighter. Gonna hold everything back. Just hit the front. Do I have a lighter that works? Should work. Maybe I don't have a lighter that works. Come on. Yeah. There we go. Burn everything off the head just to make it nice and make it look nice and professional there. Unlike the unprofessional lighter work you just saw. Again, just make a nice little head build up there. And then we'll just get our whip finish tool and whip finish this head. That's it. That's your fake fox shrimp. You can go ahead and finish the head of this fly off if you want. I'm going to put a little bit of Deer Creek Fine Flex on the head. Just finish it off. You really don't have to put anything, but just makes it a little bit more durable, you know, in case something more toothy hits those thread wraps. Where I'll be fishing this, I'm not too worried about that, but I'll put it on anyway just for good measure. So great little buggy shrimp pattern. Great on redfish. Been using it on bass a little bit. They've been seeming to eat it, thinking it's a little crawfish. Haven't thrown it to Bonefish or Permit yet, but I've got to imagine it looks like a little shrimp, so more than likely they eat this thing. So if you guys like the fly, give my channel a like and a share and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, have a good one.